Before we get going, I wonder if I know we've kind of shared some challenges that we've overcome through Thanksgiving, being around friends, family, that type of thing, food pushers, even in the group. But I wonder if anyone would be just brave enough to verbalize any time that they've definitely felt like a pretty big achievement over the last week.
I'll go.
Bring it.
So I definitely enjoyed my Thanksgiving. Um, I I hosted and I cooked a lot of damn good food, so I enjoyed it. And then I followed Joel's lead on creating the deficit during the rest of the week to be able to offset that. And I mean, I enjoyed myself. So the deficit I had to create in the rest of the week was quite deep, but it wasn't that bad, and it was actually quite tolerable. And it has made going into my new week of my cut um, very easy. And I feel like right now it's such a good flow, and I feel very like I like being like I know Brooke had mentioned before that she likes being in the cut, and I was like, are you crazy? Well, same thoughts. It feels very simple, very disciplined. My appetite has adjusted very well to it. So feels good. So that's my win. I feel really, really good on a cut.
Yeah, so you were in a cut, prepping for like Thanksgiving, right?
Mhm.
So I 100% know how that goes. Uh, I was down to eating like 1,100 calories and still hitting 170 grams of protein, which was like freaking bonkers. Uh, but definitely, uh, Thanksgiving was something like, okay, well, I've got plenty of calories stored up for this. I'm ready to rock this thing out. Um, and it was funny, my brother-in-law, I came up and cut this piece of cheesecake, I think it was. Yeah, in half, like this, because he made it like in quarters. And so I'm like cutting this one quarter in half, and he was like, "What are you doing? You know you're gonna come back and have like two more dessert trips." And I was like, "You don't know me." He was like, "Dude, I've known you for almost 20 years, and I know every time you come back, three dessert trips." He's like, "You might mound up your first plate like with a bunch of food, but when you start eating dessert, like you're coming back." And I was like, "Yeah, I totally am. You know why? Because I've saved up for this this entire week." And so yeah, I definitely ate, and I didn't feel bad at all about it. And I kept it between kept it between the ditches. And I think that most people really feel like, okay, the next day after Thanksgiving, how many people saw a post of, oh my God, I never want to eat again. I ate so much and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's fine. That's gonna happen when you ingest a lot of food at one time. But whenever you have a plan that you can execute and it looks like you're completely like 100% off the wagon to everyone around you, I think that is like the ultimate unfair advantage to everyone else doing everything else out there, because it's the ultimate uh the ultimate experience is to know exactly why you're doing what you're doing, and like how to manipulate that to get what you want. And what we wanted last week was to eat some food. So in order to make that happen, stay on track and keep our averages correct, we just adjusted some other days where a lot of, I mean, I had influencers and people on every feed that was giving people advice on how to make it through Thanksgiving. This is what you got to eat and stay away from this. And whatever you do this workout before you eat and do this many steps or whatever after. And I was like, this sounds like just torturous to people. And it just gives them another opportunity to fail. Like it's not giving them an opportunity to succeed. It's giving them an opportunity to say, oh, well, I definitely can't do that. I'm just going to eat. And, I'm not going to worry about it. Whatever. Rather than actually empowering and equipping people, they're just giving them a lot more margin for error. So I definitely love to hear that. Certainly, I want to roll something out tonight before we jump in to what we're going to talk about. Um, Everyone knows that the lifeblood of high performance human is definitely referrals. People that are in here have referred people. You might have been referred. Uh, you possibly came in from seeing an ad. You might have been referred from an OG. Uh, but I wanted to be very like specific on this and make this more of not necessarily a campaign, but an ongoing, like baked in directive. And what I wanted to share with you guys, you guys are getting the first dibs on this, is what we're calling mhm, promote. So from within, we're going to promote from within, which means whenever you're in the 16 weeks, you have an opportunity to stay and onboard enroll into Elite. Elite is the 8 months after the 16 weeks initial with High Performance Human. We've got some people in Elite right now. And you are also inviting others. And what's cool about this and what we see is that, and what we talked about, right at the beginning of this call, is being in the same community, the same group of people that are running the same race at the same pace and pulling others into that same group. It's like, hey, this is the experience that I know you're looking for. And I know you may not know even exist. There are people in this group that have specifically told me that on call. It's like, this is the program I've been looking for that I didn't even know existed. And I want to bring on more of those people into High Performance Human, simply because like we all know someone that is on that constant diet cycle. We all know someone that's doing the next new thing, whether that is low carb, keto, if they're eating like a meat only kind of their carnivore diet, if they're doing 75 hard, whatever that is. Like we all know those people that are constantly putting themselves into the next thing because they think they can overthink or outact their past behaviors, but they never change their actual behaviors for the long term. So I definitely want to tell you guys that you are 100% equipped to bring in, to invite others. And when it comes to you giving someone an invitation, like who's in this group, who this program's for. This program is for professional women over 35, like looking to get lean, strong, and sexy. Like that is this in a nutshell. There's a reason that we don't have a bunch of 20 somethings in here because it's going to make the mesh really weird. Uh, I like where we're at right now. I like the cohesiveness of this group. And I love the fact that we're all in here supporting and encouraging each other. Like that's been the biggest call on my heart for High Performance Human this year, is to have a group, have a home base where a brand new client can come in and feel supported and encouraged by people that are already in there, that have already been doing this for a few weeks, a few months. Maybe they're OGs and they've been doing this for over a year. Is that experience. And I mean, when it comes to experience, I think I've shared this before, but I definitely want to share it again. I would never invite someone to a restaurant I've had a horrible experience with. However, I will go out of my way to invite people and to leave reviews about a restaurant that I've had a great experience with. If that experience is ongoing, then like I can't sing their praises enough, right? And the goal of High Performance Human is for that to be a through line in the experience of High Performance Human. is bringing in others and like exemplifying in our lives what high performance actually is versus what all these other, all these other friends and family members are chasing, right? So this initiative is, it's called From Within, and we're just going to promote from within. We're going to invite from within, and we're going to be stronger. We're going to grow. This is going to change, but it's going to get better. Like I've said it from day one. It didn't come to play. Like we come to win. And my goal is for High Performance Human to be the best experience. It gets the best results, 100% guaranteed all the time. So that said, tonight we're going to talk about goals. Now, when we talk about goals, we all have goals. How many have goals written down on something, have it in their messages on their, or their notes on their phone, that type of thing? We've all got them. I'm sure I have notebooks, places filled up with goals from 3 months ago. Those goals have changed. Got some goals back here on this, whiteboard, and it's most of the time. How many would say that in the past they've set a goal that was more like flippant than something that was truly soul resonating? A lot of times we hear people set goals as, I just want to lose 10 pounds. Like my goal is to lose 10 pounds. Well, I think when people set goals, they think about one thing, the destination. They don't really think about who do I need to become to have that thing. And it's usually where we mess up. So let's just dive in here a bit. So, how do we know if the goal that we've set is just a goal? Like, there's got to be time in your life where you've thought about something. Like, how many times has someone said, hey, what do you think about going out to eat? We'll go to this place. And they're like, ugh, but whatever. Whatever. I don't really want that, but it's fine. Like I'm settling for that. A lot of times we can 100% clarify if something is soul resonating or meh by how we're stating this goal. So, say in this example, I'm saying, I just want to lose 10 pounds. Well, why do you think I put just on this goal? If my goal is to lose 10 pounds, why would I just say just? Could it be possible that I'm relegating from an unconscious place what I want down to what I think I either deserve or believe I can have? Is that something that you feel like you've ever done in your life where this sounds awesome, but I've got this going on and I'm this old and I've got all these things. I'll settle for this. Like if I could just get this, I really want this. And oh my God, like thinking about this is just like euphoric. But I've got all these other things going on. I'm just going to factor in these things. And if I could just have this, then I would be fine. I think a goal should be something that, and I posted about this last week too. I think a goal that you are setting for any reason should resonate at a truly deep level. How do I know if my goal is soul resonating? This is a great question. And this is kind of piggybacking off of a post I made last week. Is your heart pounding? Like when you think of what you truly, absolutely want, like does it make your heart race? Do you start feeling like, man, energized, like that the state of euphoria? Is that something that draws you to it? Because if it's not, it's going to be something that you're not going to, one, consciously align to, and you're definitely not going to align unconsciously to, like, your unconscious is not going to align your behaviors with that desire because they're not really a true desire, right? Do you feel called or compelled by it? I love the idea of being called to a goal or compelled by this thing, because then it's like the conversation that we had a few weeks ago when I was trying to talk. Who was it? Karen. I was trying to talk Karen into going off with Super Hunk at the Four Seasons, and she would not. She would not go off with this dude, even though he was rolling this Ferrari, had a freaking eight pack. She wouldn't do it because she was committed to her husband, right? And that's where we were talking about this versus that. Like, we want that thing, like that goal that we have is more compelling than anything else. And that's what we are committing to, right? And euphoria, like just a euphoric thought, like that experience. And when we get into not only setting this goal that's just making our heart pound, like, oh my God. And it's like, that would be a freaking amazing when, not if, when that happens, because of these reasons. And when this happens, I'm going to do this. And when this happens, my reward is going to be this. And we can start stacking those things. Where we talked about stacking happiness. We can start stacking happiness, future happiness, even. But if it's something that we've set that is putting us in this place of like, oh man, like just mouth water and just euphoric desire, and then that's where we know that this is something that's resonating at a heart level. And everything that it's going to take to make that happen, for that to happen, is really going to be effortless and easy, simply because like that makes my heart race. Like that thing, that idea, that experience, that me programming that future memory is something that, wow, like it's gonna make hitting my nutrition targets, hitting my steps, knocking out my workouts like nothing. Like this is just gonna be the leverage, the mechanism of following daily to get that thing. And what I'm doing daily isn't going to be a chore. I'm not going to feel like I'm punishing myself. I'm going to know that I'm 1% closer to that every day. That every day I'm getting closer to that thing. Almost like you're being like seduced by this goal. That's the level that I want you to set a goal at. Like just the idea of this is all you really need. Because whenever you can go back to the example of, I just want to lose 10 pounds. That's where we see a lot of people failing time and time again, because they haven't really set a goal that they're even convinced they even want. Not even that they're convinced they even want, but that they deserve to have. They definitely haven't given themselves permission to pursue it. But the people that set goals that are like soul resonating and make heart race, everything else is simple. As long as they have a plan to follow, they're following that plan because what they want matters more to them than what they have. and they're willing to invest time, energy, money. They're willing to do what it takes to have that, like, no matter what. So, how do you guys feel? No one feels like we just punched you in the mouth, do you? Good, good. So, I wanted to bring that up because what a perfect time of year to really pull back into uh, those goals that we've set maybe a few months ago, maybe 6 months ago, whatever they are. And really, some people should just reconsider like what state they were in when they set this goal, right? Sometimes our state will dictate the the level of desire that we have, because there's a difference in getting what you want and getting out of where you are. I think a lot of people are searching for something to save them when they don't know what they're being saved to or really even saved from. And when we're in that position, like, it's easy to set goals that you think are massive because you really don't believe you can do anything. But when you start seeing the needle move and you see it consistently moving and things are changing, I mean, more specifically, like your clothes are getting loose, body weight's dropping, like you're feeling stronger, you've got more like flexibility, uh, you can walk and be, you can walk pain free, you can move pain free, you can move weight pain free. Like all these little things are adding up. That's a time to just kind of reassess, like, is my goal too small? And I've been 100% guilty of setting a small goal, um, to the point where I I was talking to my mentor and he was like, Joel, what's your goal? Like, what's your goal for your business? And I was like, this. And he was like, and what are you doing right now? This. And he just sat back and was like, do you think if you have this, like your business is doing this, it's going to change your life? And he's like, you might live in a different place, maybe. He's like, you might be able to get another, like the car that you want, but do you think it's going to be life changing? And I thought about that. First, I did feel like I got punched in the mouth because I was thinking, like, okay, well, this is where I'm at now. If this is where I want to be, like, that would be awesome. Like, that would definitely be like the epitome of success for me in life and business. And when I stepped back and looked, I was like, you're right. Like, that's not really going to change my life. As much as I would say to clients, like, okay, there's a difference in making more money next year and making $1 million next year, right? And we solidify that, we quantify that. But what I was doing with myself was keeping training wheels on on my desire, because I was automatically regulating or relegating what I think I could achieve, and from what I actually wanted. And then when we had that conversation, I was like, "You're absolutely right. This is not going to change my life. I'm going to be doing like more work. Uh, I'm going to have less time for me. Like, why did I even put this as a goal?" I was like, "Can I put a new goal?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So, like, we reset the goal, and it made sense. It stretched, but the thought of it made my heart pound. Like, the thought of this thing just like ignited me. And that's why, like, every time I have a conversation with someone, someone jumps on the calendar, someone's referred by someone else. Like, I love referrals simply because, like, whenever a friend of mine says, "Hey, you should go check out this restaurant," I'll be a little bit more apt to like, okay, they said it's good, they loved it, like I'll go check it out. Versus an ad that pops up on my Facebook. It's like, hey, this place is in your town and we serve food here and you're going to love it. I'm probably not going to opt into something like that. So like that's massive for one, referral generating opportunities. And two, again, this like it all comes down to like the experience that you're having on a personal level, the experience that you had prior to High Performance Human, and the experience that you're having in High Performance Human. And I know with Brenda, she's is soaking all this up right now, um, and probably pretty jazzed. Just know, Brenda, that we're giving you kind of a preview of coming attractions, and we believe that what you play on the stage of your mind is a preview of coming attractions, right? So when we focus on what we want, we're that much closer to what we want. But when we fall into the trap of focusing on what we don't want, we're probably closer to getting exactly what we don't want because our focus is flowing that way. So there's one thing I definitely want to do on these calls is one, encourage support for sure. But two is to empower and equip. Because like I think Amanda said earlier, like whenever we're on these calls and we skip a call or whatever, it changes things. It changes our environment. It changes our mindset just a little bit as well. So this is the time that we can come together and kind of be redirected. And when we come in with this open mind of hearing concepts that I'm bringing about, then we can choose to apply those concepts moving forward and see how they work. But I can tell you this, for everyone that's in here that has gone through any bit of like the mental programming side of things, definitely Mindset Go and some things that we've done on these calls. The people that are consistently showing up to these calls are the ones that get the greatest level of results. Is that true, Brooke?
So true. I try to encourage all the women when they join to be active in the members area as well as the calls, because these are the women that I see do like definitely have the best results for sure.
True. All right, sisters, does anyone have any questions about anything to do with goal settings, with life stuff, with anything?
I have a question. And I didn't get to ask this because I know we've talked about setting a reward and like struggling with not feeling like you can or something like that. And I've kind of run into a blocker where I have like my goal and then I had my reward, and then my brain was instantly like, well, what happens if you hit your goal? And then, for example, it's like a weight goal, right? And our weight, you see where I'm going with this, our weight fluctuates. So my brain was kind of like, yeah, if you hit your goal, but what if in 1 or 2 weeks it fluctuates up? Do you reward yourself? Do you not reward yourself? How do you get over that hump of knowing like I hit it, I can reward myself versus feeling like you didn't quite get there, if that makes sense? I've been struggling with the reward yourself since we talked about it, and it's just been going over in my head. And I just kind of need help wrapping my mind around it.
Okay. I think that's a good question. I'm going to bounce this to Tracy because I know she just hit a milestone and also took herself to a spa day. And Tracy, what are your thoughts about that before I just kind of jump in and go with the spiel?
I had this almost feel like me thinking that my weight was going to go back up after hitting it was kind of the reason why I was like tippy toeing around hitting it for a while. And I always came like within like a pound and a half of it, but never got there. And I think that was like, first of all, that was the mental piece around it, is the fear of getting it and then losing it. And so I think I don't know what call it was where I basically like, I think it was that like shift of allowing myself to actually hit it and be okay with it. But knowing that like I've been doing the work, trusting the process, and knowing that this milestone is not the end all be all. Like there's still so much progress to be made beyond this point, that this milestone that you're hitting is not even like a few months from now, you are going to be way past it and onto something else. And so I think it's once you hit that mark, you did it. You accomplished it. And so if you have a day where you ate too much salty food and your body retained weight, or you hit leg day really hard and your muscles are, holding on to water, like whatever it might be, you still did it and you hit it. And that should be rewarded, because you came all that way to get there. So
Yeah.
that's my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great understanding that you have now of your body. Like you said a few things about, your muscles retaining water, eating too much salty food, right? You're going to have those fluctuations in your weight, but that doesn't mean that you've gained the weight back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You're just temporarily holding on to it, and you know that. So like you did hit your goal.
Trusting it. And that's difficult, like fully trusting it. It's a mental hurdle.
Can I say something?
Yes.
So for me, it's not the physical as much. For me, it's the mindset. So if I have a week or 2 weeks where I don't let the scale or the way I feel get to me, and I'm still encouraged, and I like kick the butt and workouts and CDE and all that, then I'll go and award myself. Actually, one time I did it yesterday. I got lashes, but it's like stuff that I would not normally do, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, because before I had said that my reward was always food, and that's no longer anything for me. So for me, it's my mindset. I'm working more on my mindset and how I feel about myself versus letting the past and what people have said about me dictate how I'm going to move forward.
That's awesome. I think that's like for me, the part where I'm still working on the mindset of like what Tracy mentioned, where I know I'm going to hit that goal. That's like, I know following CD, like you follow it, you're going to see results. I guess I get scared or I pull back because I'm like, wait, it's that letting go, right? It's that I hit the goal. I just haven't granted myself the permission to do so. And I think that's where I'm still, that's probably like what I think Joel was mentioning too with going to the groups, because like missing a week, it really does kind of mess with your mindset, right? And so like coming back this week, for me, just like trying to remember, once you hit that goal, you can reward yourself and then let it go. Like what Tracy said, just let it go. You did hit it, so to let it go. But I will say like today and the last couple of days, I've been like, just not really haven't quite gotten over the hump of like allowing myself to embrace the reward. I'm hoping next week it'll be different, but this week, for some reason, that's been like a challenge.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think you guys brought up some really good stuff. Amanda, I would ask you, like, what are you focusing on right now?
I mean, really still like as results wise, or I guess
Uh,
anything.
Ultimately, like what's the main focus? Do you feel like you set a goal for yourself that, like we talked about tonight, like make sure your heart race that is something that is put you in a place where this would be freaking awesome when it happens, versus this would be awesome if it happens?
Yes. No, that makes sense. Honestly, like work has gotten to the point where my goal has been just to hit my CDE and really just be day by day. Um, and I think that's just it's really just work and just having to remember like I need to step away. I need to hit this target or I need to be mindful of what I'm about to eat. So no longer, like that's honestly been my goal is making sure that regardless of how hectic work has been, that's not been my reason to miss CDE. So
Mhm.
I think, yeah, it's just been like hitting CDE every day.
Okay, so I would challenge you to spend some time this week, uh, and set a goal that is soul resonating, that follows these perimeters that we went over tonight, and two, make that something to where like when this happens, it's going to be awesome, and your CDE is just going to fall into place because you are so devoted to that thing. Like that goal is seducing you at such a level that this CDE isn't really an option. Like it's going to happen every single day. And that's something that you're on autopilot on. Like you rock CDE out like 100%. But when you only focus on today and you only focus on tomorrow, then you are shortchanging the results you can get through the week, through 2 weeks, through a month, simply because you focus so much on the short term and not something that is a long term goal that is pulling you towards it. Right. And then once you've set that soul resonating goal, your CDE is on point. Like the program's not going to stop working. Like if it does, we'll change it up. Uh, and I think that may be what you're thinking. Like you're thinking like, okay, if I lose down to this point, I reward myself for this. What happens if? Like there is no what happens if. Like the burden of results is on us, and the burden of CDE, like the action, is on you, and you're taking the action every single day. If we need to adjust things to consistently see results, that's what we're here for. So, like trusting yourself and knowing that your CDE is not ever a problem. It's never going to be a problem. It's going to happen. But latching onto a goal that is, again, like soul resonating is going to help you, one, feel like these milestones that you set, it could be weight, it could be behavior based. It could be something like, okay, for the last 2 weeks, I've hit my CDE and I'm going to go out and buy something for myself. Like I'm going to